Here we go. Here we go. Let's have a look at some music here. Right. According to Suzanne, I think it's Sue's woman, she said owning a home is a keystone of wealth, both financial affluence and emotional security. Magandang gabi po sa lahat, sa ating kababayan, and even to other migrants here in New Zealand who are watching us right now. Welcome to episode 84, and thank you for joining us again on our new time slot of home buying tips in New Zealand at 8 p.m. from now on, because I get busy now from after school, coming home, doing other things, and of course, podcasts late at night. And I'm Juvy. Hopefully, Maryann can join me tonight. No assurance, but we will welcome her to join us shortly if she can. By the way, this episode is just going to be a reflective one. We're going to discuss about just sharing with you something that's close to the hearts of many Kiwis, and even at the moment, there's a lot of discussion about, is it still worth it to buy a home in New Zealand? Because a lot of Kiwis, okay, if you're not aware of this, are moving in other parts of the world, especially just across the ditch. Australia, of course. But we're probably going to we'll tap about the benefits of owning a home from my perspective and other people's perspective, of course. So the main topic is 8 benefits, unless you're going to share with us your experience as a homeowner, or you as an investor, or maybe if you're still thinking of buying a home. What are you thinking of? Why do you want to buy a home? Or probably let us know why you don't want to buy a home in New Zealand. Talking about New Zealand here, or maybe this can be applied in other countries as well. So let's dive into the first one. First, okay, let me just double check if you're watching us from many parts of the world now, or any parts in New Zealand, let us know in the comment section, or let us know what are you interested in, why are you following us, why are you watching us. We would like to hear your thoughts, so your ideas, just really share it with us. Or you can also flick me a message, because some people don't want to be known, they just privately message me for number one benefit. Of course, I think stability and security, knowing the fact that you have your own home. If it's not your own, somebody owns it. Here in New Zealand, it happens. We have friends who were not interested of moving away, but because the house that they were renting is owned by someone else, of course, they're just renting it. The owners actually were lived in Australia, and they came back to New Zealand. So basically, they have to live in their house. So yeah, our friends were forced to move out, so to find a new place to live in. Hey, we have Maryann joining us, so let's just welcome, so I won't feel lonely. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Ate. Okay, so sorry guys, I have technical issues because my laptop where I always used to, have the live with Ate, I forgot my charger at work. So that's very flat. And I'm trying to use Celestine's laptop that she used for her online tutorial with Ate Juvy. And then it's not logging into my Facebook, and I don't have the StreamYard link.
It's
Oh
all
my
good.
God.
So I think it's
Yes.
good that we are moving the time to 8 o'clock, right? So you'll be able
Yes.
to, and you don't need to rush home. You'll be able to catch up.
Yes, and that's the thing at the end. That's why one of the reasons why I always miss out our episode, because either I'm on my way back home, or it just keeps on it's a riot at home. So now we put the kids to sleep, so I have free time with attitude.
Oh, okay. Perfect then. Just to give you
Yes,
a heads up, why I've decided to move it. It's because
yes,
that my tutorial as well was asking for me to extend it for an hour, and I was like, okay, maybe we can move the podcast. And also perfect for other
yes.
parents who have, put their tucked in their kids in the bed, and they can quietly listen to us while sipping a cup of
True.
coffee. I like coffee.
Yes,
Anyway, I've just shared with
yes.
them straight away. The first one, the main reason why, I mean, benefits of owning a home. I know later on we're going to discuss
Mm,
about the disadvantages or, yeah,
as well.
of
Yes.
owning. But for now, what's the good thing with buying a home, with having your own home? So stability and security. Do you want to add on to this?
Well, I think for me, I always am a believer of better to have your own than actually paying someone else's mortgage, and at least you have a legacy to live for your kids as well if you've got kids. And
Yeah.
that's what it means, at the end, you're in credit stability and security is because you are trying to secure something in the future, not just for you, but also for your kids. And
Mhm.
you're lucky if I think like Ate, you bought your house around the time that it's not a hot market yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So which
So
is
it's
good, very, very blessed.
and moving on to number two,
Too.
that's the one that you've just said. Uh, um, Instead of
Building.
paying the rent,
Yes.
which you are not going to get anything back in the end,
Yes.
why not have your own home? Number two is building equity
That's pretty
over
over
time.
time. Yes.
So when you said future, you're looking at the long term goal.
Yes.
So if your goals are short, because there's not much change over a short period of time. So you're looking at the
Mm.
long terms, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years or
Mm.
more. What
Mm.
will you get when you have your own home? We were actually thinking this is actually our first reason why we decided to really push hard in saving and have our own home.
Mm.
We were paying
Mm.
600 or I think 580 in
For
2018 for
the
the rent.
yes.
And then
And
when
that's a
we
3 bedroom as well. Ate.
yeah, when we calculated if we're going to buy our own, it's just going to be around 600 or 700, and we're like, okay, we can save that much more. So why not, when we know you can get it back with the equity, and fingers
Yes.
crossed the market, which is normally growing, increasing, you will
Mm.
even more.
Mm, mm, mm. You just got to know when is the perfect time of reselling it if you're gonna use it to resell it. Or you just like what I always believe in, right, Ate? Just build your portfolio, buy your second home once your equity has already been, has already grown. And then once you paid off a bit of your mortgage, then at least your kids would have already grown up as well and they'll be able to contribute to that.
Yeah, that's right. Like my kids now, my son is
Yes.
contributing because he pays for his own space, around 150. Should I refill it?
Oh, that's
He
so
contributes
cute.
150 a week. And he was even saying, oh, should I add some more? And I was like, no, just save it. 150 is already good
Mm-hmm.
enough. That's already big for us. So yeah,
Yes.
let's move on to number three reason, sense of belonging. Like, it's my own. Lalo na mga,
Yes.
right? Like, we want to have our own.
And your own
Right.
space as well.
Yes.
Ate, you can do whatever you want. Like what you do, you love gardening. At least you put all your gardening in there that you don't feel like, oh, when you're renting and then you're doing all your gardening and then you feel like, okay, I'm gonna have to move on because my landlord's gonna sell this house. Then you pretty much all your effort on putting all those, landscaping. You'll be like, oh my golly.
But you know what? I didn't have that mindset when we were renting. When we were staying in the
Oh,
farm, I was clearing up the garden. I was making garden because it's meant to be just yard,
yes,
just lawn.
yes.
And then I was like, oh, I can make this little portion until it becomes bigger into a garden. And my husband was like, you're putting a lot of effort. You're buying potting mix and compost, and you're wasting your time. You're gonna be moving out because this is not your place. And I was like, I don't
Yes.
care. This is my hobby. I enjoy it. So
Mm,
parang it's payback time because I love what I was
yes.
doing. But in the end, the universe worked together to give me my own ice space.
Yes.
What
That's
do you think
so
of that?
true. That's so true, Ate. And you know what? Like, if you're renting, like, I'm quite comfortable because we're not really renting because it's still a family, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
of course, I would still want to have our own, something that we can call ours. You know, like me and Stevens, and hopefully the future of the kids. And sense of belonging, like what you said, you can pretty much, you're quite comfortable of redesigning, redecorating, you know, like with renting you can't really do that. Like, well, some landlord is okay, but you know, like putting a I don't know, a nail in there to hang your
Not
artwork,
even.
you
Yes.
can't. Right. So that's the thing, and that's what actually what you said, Ate. Like, the universe has given you that. God has given you a blessing like that. That's something you have, and something that you will, you know, that looking back at every hard work that you've done, you actually
Mm,
have something tangible that your kids
mm,
can also have something out of it. You know?
true. And moving forward to what adding on to what you have just mentioned, that you can personalize. That's the next benefit.
Yes.
You can personalize if it's your own, like what I've been doing in my own place. Summer rose. No, 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 I don't want to read here. But you can do many things, build things that around your place, especially inside your place. If you want to add some shelves, nobody will question that.
Mm.
Nobody will come to your own place to check how how many times is it? Every quarter, I think.
I
When we
think
were
so. I think they do. Like, if it's under a tenancy, agreement with an agency.
And
Yeah.
the hassle when they send you a notice, say, oh, we're going to come and check the house in a week's time. And you will be like, oh, let's clean the house because you don't want to disappoint the owner and you might be kicked out because you're not looking after it. And
Yeah.
you put up something that it's not meant to be, you'll have to remove it, things like that.
Yeah. That's so
Have you
sad. And then
experienced?
if you like if you like pets as well, you
Mm,
can't have pets. So some landlords won't allow you to have pets. Some, I know that it is. I think they. I'm just. I can't refer. I have to refresh my mind about Fair Trading Act. But there is an act in the fair trading um law that you shouldn't be discriminating. You know, like cultures, or yeah, when
mm.
you're having a tenant. But you know
Oh,
how some landlords don't like families, so
yeah.
they don't want family with kids, you know, which is, it's supposed to be, it's against the law that you would discriminate those, you know.
I haven't heard of that,
Yeah.
but probably
Mm.
pets. Some landlords that are particular of pets. Maybe they're allergic to it, especially if it's cats. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mm. Others
but
also
kids,
are not allowing smokers.
yes. I
Like
think
my
smokers is kind of understandable, you know, I think, like, but I think kids, I never heard about it, but apparently there were
yes.
landlords that don't like children.
That's quite weird to have that
That
condition
is,
in your tenancy.
yes.
But anyway, with smoke, yeah, for smokers, it's hard for you to look for a house that you can freely smoke.
Yes.
I think a lot of landlords won't allow you to do the smoking inside the house because the fume stays there. And
Yes.
if your own home, oof, bahala ka na, magpausok ka muna. You can do so.
That's
And
true. That's true, Ate.
Another one benefit, which we are enjoying at the moment as a homeowner, is the
Yes.
potential of for rental income. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
rental. In our one, it's just borders, right?
Mm,
Sharing accommodation.
yes.
So, kasi pagawa kami ng extended rooms. So, yeah, we have it rented
Mm.
out. But if you are just renting, dadaan ka pa sa owner, of course. You have to ask permission if this is okay.
If it's
Pero kung ikaw
subletting, ate, right?
kung ikaw may-ari, then anytime you want.
I have a lot of my clients before ate because all their kids have already moved out and they have
Mm.
like a four-bedroom, and then two bathroom. So what they do is that, like the kids are moved out, we have two extra rooms and then they put it on bed space. Yeah, so it's just a good
Yeah,
one because you can't do that. At
that's
least you
good.
have. Imagine if you are a retired, couple, and you're still paying a mortgage. That would actually help you pay off your mortgage without you working until you get old.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on to the next benefit, let's accommodate the question here from Ro Pats. Thanks so much, Ro, for engaging with us. Any advice, please? I'm a Pinoy builder planning for or keep it and add ADU here in West Auckland, or may I find under
Right.
500K here? Uh, there are some acronyms that I'm not familiar with.
Yes.
Is this
Any advice,
bedrooms?
please? I'm a Pinoy builder planning for what's a bird? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Kuya Ro. Can you also send another one? I'm not sure. Maybe it's a typo or keep it. Building,
Mm.
is it building? Planning to build?
Because
Oh,
he's a
I keep it.
builder. Maybe he can choose. We had that topic, buying a section and build your own, but you will have to go through the process of getting a consent from the
Yeah.
council because he's in Auckland anyway. I know. West
Mm-mm.
Auckland is quite expensive.
West Auckland is becoming developed as well because there's so many new builds in West Auckland,
Mm.
Ate. And you can still buy. I know that I've lost one buyer, even though they really want to buy with me, but then they didn't know how in real estate world, if you view a property without your agent, that agent that the listing agent will say, oh nah, so that you can't bring your buyers anymore because they already passed through my listing without you, so they're my buyers now. So I've lost
Mm.
some buyers like that because they were viewing a property without me, and they bought a 600,000 three-bedrooms out west. That was before I left Raywide.
2023.
Yes, end of 2023 because I moved 2024.
So the prices of the house that time was still a little bit, no, it's down, but the interest rate
Yeah,
was, yeah,
high,
yeah.
yes. And so I think that's why this is still the best time to buy because prices are still not as high, and then and the interest rates are going down.
Yeah, yeah. If only I can. But
Mm,
I had some change of plans. That's why I'm not pursuing it. But it's still in the plan though. Next one. Benefit of owning a home: protection against rising rents. How much
yes,
rents are always rising, but with
yes.
same house prices anyway. But the rates are going up and down.
Mm, mm, mm. And it also depends as well out there because some landlords, if they're not managing it on their own, then of course they will have to put another margin because then they'll have to pay the
Ah,
rates for their agency, the
yeah,
property
the
management that they
property
pay
manager.
for. But
Yeah,
if I were vendors as homeowners as well who would like investors, I would rather also put it on a property management because at least you get out of that hassle to be
yeah.
doing your own quarterly visit.
But if you're a tradie, we have Ro back again explaining it. Buy,
Oh,
rebuild. I didn't know that kind of acronym. Refinance,
me
rent.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
So buy, rebuild, refinance, okay. I've had some. I think I've had some clients at it before who are builders as well who does that. Um, but mostly it's more of tradies. So I'm not sure if Kuyero is pertaining to buying a rundown house and then they trade it. So we call it traders because what they do is that they buy a very,
They renovate.
rundown property, yeah, for a do-up property. They rebuild it or do it up, and then after that they rent it, and then once it increases the value, you kind of, if the market is not that good yet to sell, then might as well put it on rent. It's building your equity and also paying off its mortgage through the rent. And then after that, resell it if you think that the market is right. And then you repeat. So that is actually what Kuya is saying, is actually what yeah, most of our, pretty much our investors who became so good in the, real estate industry because they know how that works. So
Yep.
buy a rundown, rebuild it or redo it, do it up, and then rent it if this is not the perfect market, because that's what happened to
Mm.
around us in here, and then resell it on the right market.
And it's perfect because
I,
he's a Pinoy builder, Filipino builder.
builder.
Yeah.
I think for
My
me, if you're asking Kuya, right, that's a good idea.
It is. I want to quickly share about the story of my plumber. He told me
Mm,
that he bought a house somewhere in Wayuko, I think, a rundown one. And his because he's a tradie, of course, basic carpentry and plumbing is very high
mm,
skill talent, and he rented it out. I think they did a little bit of it, rented it out, and then
mm,
bought another one. And
mm.
at the same time, while they're renting it, they didn't put it under the property manager. That he's the one managing it
Managing it, yes,
because he can do the fixing anyway once there's trouble with the plumbing
yes.
and basic stuff. So yeah, once you are skilled, especially about the house, if you're an electrician, a carpenter, and a plumber,
Mm, mm.
or
And
if
I
you can
think,
just
Ate,
build your
like
team.
I've had some clients who are friends. They're a group of tradies, friends. So there's a
Mm,
plumber, there's an electrician,
yeah.
there's a builder, and they buy together, which is, I find it very, very smart. You know,
Oh yeah, good
very,
idea.
very smart. Yeah, if you have really good friends who are willing to invest with you, buy, like what Kuya said, buy, rebuild, rent, and then resell and then repeat. So you can do that a lot. Like, I know that the house on the corner that I was trying to sell before, I've had buyers come through. They're friends, group of friends who are all tradies. So electrician, carpenter, painter,
Mm.
and plumber. So there are like four of them and their wives, of course.
Yeah, I think I would suggest, Ro, if you can move to South Auckland, the houses are still cheaper here.
Yes,
And
I don't know. I'm
there
not
are
sure with West Egg, Ate.
and there's a lot of old houses here in South Auckland that you can probably renovate. And if you don't know an electrician yet, my son is. So if you want to build your team, but probably when if you're a carpenter, you definitely have a lot of connections with the plumbers because they are part of building a house and electrician. But yep,
Yeah. And
that's really
just maybe additional tip to Kuya Ro, if that's their plan, yeah. I would suggest, like what you said, South Auckland is a good one, and because South Auckland, you will still find a, a kind of like a good amount of land for a price that, like the one in front of us, that's an 800 square meter land, I think. Oh no, 700 square meter land. It was sold. It's livable, but it was sold at 750, and it was redone, and then now the buyer who redone it, they sold it for
mm,
like 900, yeah, and then now it's being rented by the investor who bought it. So pretty much, if he is planning of buying something I would suggest to buy something that has, potential for, I don't know if it's a good land for a 750, 700
Yeah,
square meter would be
let's
really, really good because
let's
you can
double
sell, you don't need to do, yeah, and you don't need to do anything much after. You just have to, like, I don't know, like change or repaint something, lick of paint of something like that. Then you put it
our
on rent. You're land banking the land because you bought it for 750 for a 700 square meter land. In a year or two's time, once the market comes back, you can sell it more than a mil because of the land.
Yeah, good
Mm.
idea that you're already thinking of this. Mga
Yes.
traders natin, ano, that they should be considering this.
Mm.
Anyway, seventh benefit. Oh yeah, we've been mentioning this, the long-term financial gain. Don't look into buying if you are not thinking of settling for quite some time. Like, you're thinking of moving to Australia after you get your citizenship. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are doing that. It's and then you'll be having trouble selling the house because you want to move, but it's only a short period of time since you bought it. So you might not get
Yes.
the much gain, or you might be in the losing end actually, because I've heard of that when you just bought it for a couple of years ago. I would suggest if you're looking at long term, yeah, it's really a win-win financial gain.
Mm-mm. Yes. And just also on financial gain as well, like what you mentioned as well, you still have to be particular of the property that you're buying. So just put it like, don't forget as well. Like, I know that we have said quite a few benefits in here, but at the end of the day, it's really good for them to talk to a real estate agent that they can really trust, and then at least they would be buying a house that will give you that financial gain because you know that it's a house that you can that grows. There are houses and there are properties that doesn't grow, so that's why a lot of our kababayans before thought that, oh, Marian, I can only afford an apartment, which is, a unit type or something for 400K because
Yeah,
they were like, okay, well, yeah, so you kind of have to really be researching first before you
yeah.
plan it. Yes, this is good, but yeah, you have to also really know a lot.
Yeah, we've pretty much covered so many things for the almost 2 years of our podcast going, like the type of land you want to buy, the type of
Yeah,
property, the yields of it. Go
yes.
back to our playlist, please. We've discussed that one because don't just base it on the benefits we've talked about right now. It's just the benefits, but there's
Mm,
also the downside of it. We'll discuss more of that
mm,
next time so you can balance things. Don't just
yes.
watch one of our episodes, watch everything if you can, so you are guided
Mm,
properly. Plus, do a lot of readings because there are also websites. Settle.govt.nz
that
is
and
also a
Z.
good
Yes.
website to check out if you're looking into buying your own home. And don't
Mm,
rush.
mm,
Take time studying this stuff. You
mm.
don't want to make mistakes, the same mistakes that other people have done. Because, yeah.
Yes, that's so true, Ate. That's and I one more tip, sorry, I forgot. So if there are other kababayans who are thinking of the same as Kuya Ro earlier, one more thing, one tip, most of the tradies who've done really well in doing that BRRR that Kuya was saying earlier, they studied real estate as well. So they pretty much understand the lingo of the industry. And
Mm,
so they would know, what you're supposed to look for, what you're supposed to do. You pretty much will cover everything: Fair Trading Act, Consumers Act, and Real Estate Act. It's quite broad, and that will help you. I know it's a little bit of in kind of parang ano bang tawag dito ate, like pundasyon or foundation where you will pay something for a certificate of that, but I think it pays a lot, like even though you don't become a real estate agent, but you study as much. And if you have a friend who's a real estate agent who studied like me, who studied
mm.
it, you get those
Reach
little
out to
bits of, oh
Marianne.
shucks, yeah.
Hey, how much is it, by the way? You just mentioned it. I'm thinking, oh, should I study about it? How
You
much do
will
you have?
love it, Ate. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, during my time, so I joined real estate in 2021. So I think during that time I paid for 4,000.
Oh, wow. Well, it's not
Mm,
that much because I paid for around 3,000 plus, close to 4,000. It was payable for 2 years, $25, I
yes.
think, each week. It wasn't that heavy, but that was for accounting course. And I find it, useful
Ah,
because I have business. I'm into business. That's why I studied accounting.
yes,
Wow, it's
yes.
tedious. I didn't finish the level 4, but at least I've achieved level 3 because it's a lot. But I've learned so much as well. Now I'm thinking of this, but what will be my
Real
pathway later?
estate.
I have too much on my
I
plate already. So,
I just, you know what, to be very honest, Ate, Stephen makes fun of me because I just keep on paying courses and then I study. And then he's like, you don't even use it. See, even real estate, you left it. You're
but
becoming
yeah,
like the jack of all trades and master of none.
you can always go back when you decide, when you have free time. You may,
Yes. And the thing is, Ate, like, I find it that knowledge is actually really, really powerful. Like, the more you know, I just find it very fascinating. Like, studying is, yeah, I just love learning.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. And yeah, it keeps you
You
growing and
should.
it keeps you motivated. Anyway, let's move down to the last one. And yeah, we keep on giving more tips. Last benefit I would say is, of course, we all Filipino love this pride of having an accomplishment. Pride and
Yes.
accomplishment. Anyway, something that, hey, we built this one. When you go abroad as an overseas foreign worker, and then you will always send money back to build something, and you would say, this is the fruit of my labor.
Yes.
So that's the
Yes,
sense.
that's so true. But imagine if you have that in New Zealand, you know, it's a foreign land and like you Ate, like you built, that's your fruit of your foundation. And then you have it in the Philippines too, right?
Yeah, that's
See?
change of the plan. That's the change of the plan. Because,
Oh,
every
that's so good.
year we've been planning to go back home to visit, and we don't have a home there. We don't have our own place. So we've decided to maybe have our place. So hopefully this December we have a place to call our home when we go home.
Oh,
Anyway, another tip when you're owning your own home, for me, I I feel more disciplined in setting aside the money. I
yeah.
can't, because that should go to the house, right? So it's
Yes,
like a
yes.
forced saving, so long as you're looking at the long-term goal. Yeah.
Yes.
But then there are many
And that's the
factors.
thing, like what you said, Ate, you are forced to save something tangible and something that grows. Imagine if you're
Mm.
only collecting, I don't know, I stopped that. I used to be lover of perfumes, which dries up and just, Ate, and sometimes even changes the scent if you have not used it for so long and you
Oh.
keep on yes, are there, and that's what I do when I was back in the Philippines, and I find it like it's actually a well, yes, I still love perfume, but I find it such a waste of money,
Mm.
right? Imagine that. So you were forced to save of something tangible that it's not just you who's gonna benefit it in the long run, but your whole family's gonna benefit it. And even it might go all the way to generations. So like your kids, their kids,
Mm.
it's something that you have given them as a legacy. So yeah, that's part of
Yeah.
the accomplishment.
Talking about legacy, yes, accomplishment when you raise your kids, send them to good education at the same time you're preparing something for
Mm,
yourself in case your kids won't turn their back to you or just leave you
yes.
anywhere. Or if your kids are good, help you with that house, and then that will be your gifting to them later on.
That's true.
Anyways, well, that's our mindset for now because it's the benefits of owning a home. But of course, owning a home is not all sunshine and roses. So we've been giving you some tips every now and then when we have this podcast. There are also disadvantages and responsibilities you need to prepare for. I think we've also covered this one, like the maintenance cost, the rates, insurance, and more. So you got to be ready for that
Mm,
as well. And don't just think of the repayments because there are more. And we've
mm.
touched this many times.
Yes,
Yeah. We're gonna.
yes.
I've been looking for somebody to have in our podcast to share why they are not buying a home.
We have one out there, right? So one of your friends,
Re-
the Kiwi saver specialist. What's her
Uh,
name? I forgot.
I think it was
Okay.
Regine of Saha. She decided not to.
And one
I
Filipino, one kababayan as well who didn't want to
Yes,
buy.
yes, yes. Yeah, fair enough. But if anyone from our viewers right now who would like to join us in our discussion here, we can just discuss anything under the heat of the sun that will help us grow in our knowledge, especially about buying a home here in New Zealand.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us, especially Toro for engaging. Great input there. It's my first
Questions.
time to hear
Yes.
but yep,
I
pretty much.
know. That's actually really good, and at least we have a bit of a discussion in there, and can like Kuya Ro, if you wanna contact me about ideas as well, like I can share you some ideas in the real estate point of view, so if I know that you are a builder, and you can give me a lot of tips as well from your point of view because you're a different. I'm not studying everything. I might study as building as well.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, yeah, I'm interested if he is a sole trader as well as a builder. You know
Yes,
how builders here can also do side hustle, and
yes,
you can be a start for your business. Let us know. We can
yes,
introduce you to the community,
yes.
especially homeowners here who are adding something in their houses and they want to. A lot of some people have already been asking me, "Do you know a builder?" But yeah, I know a lot already. I know a lot. And
We know.
yeah, I will be happy to have you on our podcast and share,
Yeah, yeah.
especially if you have your business. We
Yes,
can.
and yeah, and I think that's a great way as well for you engaging with me and Ate, because at least we can kind of Ate can share her own experience, and then I can share as the one who sells it. At
Yeah.
least what agents are looking for, what agents think this is the value of this, how they actually appraise your property, and that's what I can actually share. So, and I love to help as much Filipinos as that question. I think I have some Filipinos who still contacted me at and I felt bad because they were like, I told you that I'm planning to sell it on the 2025. Why did you leave? I'm like, oh, sorry.
Right. There you have it, guys. So those still on the fence asking themselves, maybe you're asking yourself, what's stopping you from starting your home ownership journey? Start from learning about it. It's never
Yes.
too early to learn, and it's never too late. It's never, did I say it right? To learn and plan. Yeah, whether you're dreaming your first home or planning your next move, we hope this episode inspires you to keep going. We'll
Yes.
definitely see you next week. Thanks so much,
Thank
Marianne.
you. Thank you, Ate. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kuya Ro, for engaging. See
Bye.
you. Good night. Bye bye.